Hello and welcome to the Solution Builder webinar, where we will be looking at how to add on a protection policy using the integrated Solution Builder system. Now, the first thing that I'd like to point out is for you to have filled out your data gathering section. The only reason I would like to point this out is because when we actually launch Solution Builder, the information that's inputted within your data gathering will then be transferred over to the Solution Builder system, which will enable you to get a more accurate policy quote on your clients. So the way that I would get onto Solution Builder is going down to the sourcing section, which is right down here. Now, as soon as I get to the sourcing section, I've got life requirements and income protection. It doesn't matter which one you select. If you're going for life, then click on life. If you want to add on income protection, you don't have to click on both of them. You can just start off with life requirements. The reason I say that is because on both of the tabs, life and income protection, you have the Solution Builder tab built in. So this is what we're going to be launching. So as soon as you click on Launch Solution Builder, this will now take you directly onto the landing page of Solution Builder. Now you won't have to log in because within the actual tech department, when we give out your login details to you, you will have your username and password already stored on the fact find for you. So all you have to do is click on the button like I have. So as soon as you clicked on the button, you get to the landing page. Now this is what you will see as well. Now you've got benefit basket, you've got single product basket, and you've got the add benefit section. Now Solution Builder is very easy to use. The first thing you're going to look at is adding the benefits that you need. So within the webinar, what I'm going to be doing is just going through a very simple and basic protection policy for you to add. Now, let's just go for decreasing term assurance. Obviously, get that protection against the mortgage. Now, the first thing that you'll see is you're going to have to fill out all the boxes. As you can see, it's got my client name here. So I've got Mr. Test Center and Mrs. Test Center. Now, the first thing you'll see is lives assured. So do I want to do first, second, or joint life? For the purpose of this webinar, I'm going to choose joint life. Again, you will know how to fill this out. And you will get, if you don't know, you'll get taught about the different boxes and what they mean. But I'm going to keep the options as they are, and I'm just going to input a term of 25 years. Now, whether I want life cover, critical illness cover, or life and early kick amount cover, I can just tick as the ones that I want. So just for the basis of this, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be just adding a life cover amount of, let's say, 150,000. Now, as you can see here on the right hand side, as soon as I've entered an amount to be covered, I've now got an indicative quote. What an indicative quote is it uses very clever data to interpret how much it may cost me for this cover for my client. So it's given me a ballpark figure of an amount of how much it may cost the client to take out this cover. Again, don't take this indicative quote as gospel because it can change once you actually look at the different providers. So once I've filled out all these sections here, I scroll down to the bottom and I can click on Save Benefit. Now, I do have an option on the right hand side here that says View More Cover Options. Once I click this, I get like a grid that appears. And as you can see on the grid, it has life only, it has a split sum assured with 50% kick, critical illness cover, and life or earlier kick that's not available. As you can see here, it's got like a little, let's say a scanner right here on top, where you can scan across right and left, and it gives me different prices for how much cover I can increase to. So my cover's now increased from 150 that I put into 167, and it tells me how much it would cost as again an indicative quote or indicative premium, as it says here, of how much it would be. Like I said, if I want to add any additional cover on, I can do that by just going along, as you can see. Yep. Now we're going to leave it as it is. If I ever want to reset it, what I can do is just go to the top and press reset. That will reset the amount that I had before. You can select different benefits to see how much they could cost for different amounts. Again, have a little play around if you're having a look at it, and you'll get a better understanding once you have a little go at it. So I've pressed reset, and I'm just going to X out of it, and it'll take me back onto the page that I was on before. So if I go onto the button save benefit, this will now save the benefit that I just created. Now I can add on income protection, family income benefits, level term assurance. I can add on more benefits, and it will turn my single policy into a multi-benefit policy. Once you're happy with obviously what you've added, if you need to add any more benefits, you can do. But what we're going to do is we're going to explore different options as well. So I can edit commission if I want. If I want to do commission sacrifice, this is where I would do it. I can modify it to a percentage, or I can do it as nil amount, or I can just keep the commission as full. Now, you can do that in that section. What I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be pressing the cancel button here, and it'll say, if you press OK, all changes will be lost. That's fine. I've now pressed OK. It's taken me back onto the landing page. Another thing that we'll look at is the report section, but I'll show you that later on. Now, once I've got, obviously, like I said before, the policies that I want to, if it's a single policy or a multi-policy, I press quote now. If I click on quote now, it will now generate a quote for me depending on the lowest premium from a selected provider. So in this instance, it's come up as £26.11 for legal and general at decreasing life. Individual prices for both joint applicants, or it's given me one single cover for joint, depending on which one I want to look at. Again, because I selected joint, I'll stick with joint. Now, if I want to see different providers and how much they're charging, I just select on alternatives. As soon as I select alternatives, I will get a list of the providers that are actually quoting on this. So I've got Royal London, I've got AIG, I've got LV, Aviva, so on and so forth. Now I can also see what providers are not quoting. Key 3, I want to see what I need to do to get that policy if I'm looking for it specifically. I will click on the drop down here, and it'll give me an indication that says critical illness cover must be included. So I know if I want to go for AIG Key 3 for that product, I need to add in critical illness cover. It needs to be included. Now, if I want to compare product features as well, I can do that on the right hand side here. If I click here, it will give me, if I want to see the difference and compare different ones. So I want to compare, let's just say legal and general, AIG, and let's say Royal London. Yeah. Now, if I go down to the bottom, there's a couple more here. You've got Vitality, Zurich, and so on. But let's just see the features of all three and the benefits of them as well. So I've selected 3 providers. I can now select product feature options as well. So let's just say access to GPs, health checks if it's included, terminal illness, legal services. And if I click on get report, what this will do is it will generate a report for me that actually has information about the different providers and what their features are and the differences between their features. So as you can see, it's powered by Protection Guru, and it tells you and it gives you a list of all the features I've got, and it tells me Legal and General decreasing life at £26.11, which was on the first screen that we've seen as the cheapest. It says GP services, oh, it's not included. Royal London again, oh, it's not supported. But AIG, your life plan, actually has it at 100%. So it tells me out of the features that I've selected, who and what percentage they do it for. So 33% for Legal and General, so you can have that conversation with your client. Again, and it has the policy that we've gone for as well. Now, if you are to right click, you can print it off by saving it as well. So not an issue, we can get that sorted out for you. You can print that off for your client if needs be and go through it with them. So that's that bit. Now I'm just going to go back to show you other options as well that you have. So let's just say that, okay, I don't want to go for Legal and General because I know about the features that I've selected, and I know that AIG do it, for example. If I press select, it now takes me back onto the screen and it says your AIG life plan is now at £28.67. Now this is the one I've selected. There's a couple of things I can do at this stage. Number one, I can get the supporting documents. That will obviously, like it says there, download the key documents such as your KFIs, your illustrations, and the comparison report. And it does it within a click of a button, as it says. So if I press get supporting documents, it now tells me that it's downloading the supporting documents. Again, in terms of the key features, the illustration and the comparison report. The comparison report has a comparison of that lender and other lenders as well on there. I'm not going to actually show you them reports because I would like you to have a go yourself on the actual system. Once you do, to have a little play around with it and to see what the documents look like, but they're fairly straightforward. Now, as soon as if I was to press that download button, it'll download those documents and I can show my client in terms of an illustration to show them what we're actually going for or what we plan to go for. Now, if I want a full comparison report to show, I can get a comparison report with commission or I can get one without commission. So it gives you an indication of whether you want your comparison report to be with commission and without commission. You can download it here as well. You don't have to click on get supporting documents to get that comparison report. Now the comparison report, if I was to go on it, let's just say without commission, if I click on it, I can show you this. So it gives me a list again, but the list tells me it's got the benefits selected. And if I go down, it gives me a list. Like how it did when I went on alternatives, it gives me a list without commissions. If I was to select the commissions tab, it would be here on the right hand side and it would say commissions on it and tell me how much commissions I get. Now this is something that you can share again with your client to let them know about what there is, what policies they can go for, what the details of the cover is, if it supports it or not. Obviously with providers not quoting, you can have a look at it yourself as well. It's completely up to you how you use this document, but you know that the document is there for you to use if you need to. So I'm just going to go back onto the system here. Now let's just say I'm now happy with my quote and I want to go ahead with my AIG life plan for joint applicants, not single but joint. I can click on this flag here. As soon as I click on the flag here, you'll see on the right hand side there's a little box that appears. If I click on the box, again, if I didn't press get supporting documents on that bit, I can do it here on this section. Now, for me to get those documents, so the supporting documents, the illustration, your key features, onto the case, so your case checker can see it and you can see it as well for future reference, I press save for later. This button here tells the system that I'm happy with the AIG life plan that I've selected, and now I want to take the documents that I downloaded and I want to put them onto my case under documents. Again, it's good because your case checker will be able to see this as well. So if I press save for later, this is now telling the system that I want to take those documents back. And that's it. I don't have to do anything else. I can click out of Solution Builder and I can carry on with anything else I was doing. You do not have to add requirements in for live requirements because you're launching straight from Solution Builder, so that's okay. Now, in terms of the actual submission sheet itself, if I was to go to the submission sheet, and let's just say I've got my mortgage shortlist, my secured loan shortlist, I've also got my Solution Builder quotes. This is what I need. If I click on first of all retrieve quotes, this is now telling the system, okay, what did I pull through from Solution Builder? I've got it here. Now, if I have chosen it, or I might have a couple of others, I might have a look at this one, I might go back into Solution Builder and get another quote if I want to. It's completely up to yourself as an advisor what you'd like to do. But in this situation, if I click on chosen, that now tells the system that I want to pull this information from here onto my suitability report, which obviously you're going to look at later on. But if I press chosen, that's the information that's going to get brought into my suitability report. Again, you can do more than one quote. You can do 5, 6 quotes. It just depends on how you want to use the system and if you want to transfer that data across onto your submission sheet. Again, if I press apply, once I click apply, it will take me onto the lender's site. So take me onto AIG's site where I'll log in and I can fill out the rest of the protection form and send it off to get protection for my client. Now, one thing is, if I press chosen here, as you can see, it will then load for a while, and that's it. That's everything that I need to do there. Now, in an instant, if it is multi-benefit policies, you may have to just fill out your life policies as well right here, which you would have to do. So as you can see here, I've clicked on it. It would normally give you an exclamation mark to let you know that you need to fill it out. But in this instant, because I know you have to fill it out, I've clicked on it for you. So you have to fill out this section once you've chosen it. It just literally, it's got most of the information in there, but you just fill out the purpose. You fill out obviously the owners, so both of them, test center Mr. and Mrs. And of course the status of it. So is it an application on risk? Has the application been submitted? You would select the appropriate obviously fields, well, the appropriate fields that you need to fill out. As soon as you've done that, again, if it's multi-benefit, you fill out multi-benefit. If it's income protection, you do income protection as well. If it was GI, you'd fill it out for GI. It just completely depends what policy you're going for. And that's basically Solution Builder from start to finish there. Once you've filled out your life policies section, you will then be ready to submit business. And when you submit business, that's when you'll complete your recommendation report and mark the case as complete, again depending on if you've done everything you need to on the case. Now, one thing I wanted to show you was the document section. Do you remember us pressing the Save for Later button? That is actually a button that I said brought through your document onto your case ID. Well, here they are. All the documents that were produced, so the product key features, the specification for the illustration and the comparison summary are all there. And of course your case checker will be able to see that as well. Now, that's one key thing, and that's one good thing about the system as well. There's many good things about the system in terms of Solution Builder, but how you can just over click of a button, there's no need to upload because you've got everything there once you just click the correct buttons. And that is Solution Builder done. So one thing that I wanted to show you on the system that you have access to on Solution Builder is the protection report, the risk and mortgage report. So this is actually, it generates a personalized risk and mortgage protection report for your client, and we're going to have a look at it. I just read what it just said there for you. So if I click on go to report, it will tell me to fill out some employment details. I know that I said before that on the fact finder pull it through. It does pull some information through for you, but not all of the information. So you will have to fill out employment details for both your clients if you're producing this report. Plus, once we scroll down, I'll show you that you just have to fill out the mortgage payments or rough amount of how much the mortgage will be, and the report will be produced based on that. So it's a risk and mortgage protection report. You'd fill out the details as per. It has the personal details there for you. So it's taking the date of birth, it's taking if they're a smoker or not, already there for you. It's just the employment details as said before. So we'll leave it as employed. I'll just key in some data here. So 50,000 is how much Mr. Testator is going to be earning. And we're going to put occupation as, let's just say, account exec. And if I do second client, if I go to employed again, if I do, let's just say 30,000, and if I go to occupation as they're the accountant, yeah. And if I scroll down again, like I said before, it asks you just some mortgage details. Literally, this takes you about as you've seen, 30 seconds to a minute to fill out. So I'm going to put repayment. I'm just going to put any postcode in there, and I'm going to put monthly mortgage amount of, let's say, £750, and mortgage amount, let's just do something like 240,000. I'm going to put the term as, let's say, 19 years, and I'm going to press get report. As soon as I do that, the system is going to produce me a report that tells you about the risks and about the type of protection. If they take it out, the chances of something happening to them and the amount that is charged. So you've got the client's details here. It's really tailored to them. So it really makes them, think about things and think about the chances of things happening, of them suffering if something was to happen, and if they were to get cover, how much it cost them on a monthly basis and how much the annual amount is. Again, the prices are just ballpark figures. It's something to go over for them to think about, and for them to have a look at if you want to. And it just gives you the chances, as I said before, and the chances of something happening to them as well. And underneath, it's really key right here. It tells them about the actual types of protection and what it would do for them if something was to happen. So you've got that. Again, if you want to give it to your client or go through it with your client, you can do. Like I said before, right click, press print, and they've got it there.